Hi guys, welcome back on my to the second tutorial, the 9-cube grid. Um, I I hope you enjoyed the first one. This one's going to be a continuation of that same idea. In the first video, we created this 9-cube grid. We created it with pegs at certain lengths so that later down the road you can manufacture it. One thing I did right here is I added another layer called NC Object, and then I also added a layer called 9-cube grid. And as you can see, like, I can move these out here. I can show you how I did that. I simply created a layer with it, and I'll just start a new one here. And so I create a layer NC underscore object, and then then I created that 9-cube grid. And you can just drag these inside of here, okay? I just like doing this to keep everything organized in case you need to export it out later. Organization is the key to everything in life. More and more of that if you can. This tutorial is going to basically, the idea is taking an object from the internet, and I'm going to go through and show you how to find those and where to find those. The internet is full of objects, and it's a fantastic thing, and I'll talk more about that in a second. And we're going to take that object, we're going to put it inside the 9-cube grid, and we're going to basically use the grid system to divide it with discrete elements and to make that object as a lower resolution with discrete units inside the cube. Alright? So let's get started here, and we're done with this model for now, but keep it up, and we're going to start Firefox here, and I'm going to go from the best to the worst, and then we'll talk about and search for some things for us. So first one I'd like to talk about is GrabCAD. GrabCAD is really great. Let's just do like, I don't know, chair. And you can see here, for the most part, chair's a weird one, but you see here that there's a lot of, so 3ds Max, OBJ, STL, these are all typically mesh files, and that's not the kind of great thing about GrabCAD. I picked an unusual one for this. When you see things like step and IGES, basically what these are surface models, and those are created in stuff like SolidWorks, TopSolid, CATIA, Pro-E, just to name a few. And they're a lot higher res. As a matter of fact, they almost have an infinite res because they don't have any polygons. They're made very much like Rhinoceros. I'll have another tutorial. I'll discuss the different types of software, but for now we're gonna just talk to about briefly. So anyways, you can get these in here, and these are really nice models. In some cases, like an engine or something that's really high res, they're useful, but they might be a little too big for your software or your computer. Just keep that in mind. And I'm going to go ahead. I have a session with animals, so I'm going to do a panda here just for shits and giggles. Let's see if we can find a panda. It does not look like there's a panda inside here. There's a lot. I mean, that's a cute little one right there. We're going to change that to 100. See if we can find there's one right there. That's a porcupine. That is not a panda. There's a panda bear. He is really horrendously ugly, though. We're going to right click and keep him on the side. I like this one a lot. We're going to right click him on the side. And what is he made in? See down here? Oh, he's a 3D. He was made inside a Rhino. He looks like, he doesn't look like a surface model. He looks like a mesh model. But we're going to keep that on the side. So we're going to tab over again. And the next one we're going to go to is, it is now called free3d.com. And free3d.com has a variety of stuff. Mostly outside of GrabCAD, you're not going to find any of the surface models. These are strictly going to be meshes, but there's a whole bunch of them. There's a large data set. These range in quality. Sometimes you can find things with wonderful UV maps on them, and sometimes you can't. It's a really great place. Again, we're going to go for Panda again and see what we can find. And here's some interesting ones. These right here, you can tell from the way they look, they come from Thingiverse. We're going to look at him. Let's see where he's coming from. Thingiverse, it actually tells you sometimes where these come from. I don't see that in here, but he looks really good. And that's one I probably am going to use, but we're going to go ahead and move on to the other side. So that's free3d.com. Another website is TurboSquid. TurboSquid has an amazing range of work. Some of the best work online. As you can see, these cars here, they're probably full detailed. These humans and men are pretty great too. Of course, they have architecture, even cities. They're really fantastic. Cities, I will show you in a second where to get those. They are very expensive. They used to be cheap, but they are not anymore. Let's do Panda here and see what we can find. Okay, as you see, there's a whole range. You can pay a lot of money. If you are a good modeler, you can actually make money on this site. Like he even has fur. And probably is rigged. Rigged means it has an internal bone structure that can be animated. Some of them aren't. I mean, look at that one. That one's animated, right? It looks like this one, if it's animated, it gets a little more expensive. Rigged. See, that one says rigged on it. See, they charge a little more extra. But we don't want to do these expensive ones. So top right, you see best match. Click this, hit lower prices. And we're going to get a list of lower prices objects. We're not paying for anything. I'm not particularly happy with any of these right here. So, and by the way, you don't have to do a Panda. You can do anything you'd like. But we're going to move on. So next one I would go over is Google Warehouse. Okay, we're going to do Google Warehouse. It's 3D Warehouse now. These models are typically really not the greatest. If you are concerned with furniture and other things inside an interior design or something of this order, or pillows, any sort of thing, curtains, any appliances, what's really great about 3D Warehouse is that you can actually find those actual appliances. Like as you see here, it's actually telling you the number of the sofa. You'll find this quite often. Companies actually create SketchUp models for their objects. As you can see here, it even says the assembly number and where it's made. This is really common. So if you're trying for anything in some kind of job and they want a specific thing, you might be able to find it here. As you see, like even Nano Wall, see, it even has the glass structures for that. So it's a nice BIM kind of place, BIM, building information modeling. But for our purposes, we're on a hunt for a Panda, so we're going to do Panda again. And we see here a couple different versions of it. This guy is abysmal looking compared to the one we have. And these other ones look, I do like this one, it's kind of cute. But not really up my alley. This one's a little better. But, okay. So the last one I'll go over is 3D CAD Browser. 3D CAD Browser is a fantastic site. It used to be a lot cheaper. As you see here, register. This is what you get now. It's really expensive, and a lot of things are marked with the emblem, one of these the objects, and it gets really expensive. But it used to be a place for cities, so you can go here and go down to architecture, 3D cities and landscapes, Um, you see these little this little emblem right here. That's tetra. If you look again, tab over, and look at the tetra or torus, I guess. See, they won't. You have to be at this level in order to get this. That used to not be true. You used to be able to get a lot of these for a lot less. But if you're in an environment with some people, or maybe, I don't know what the T means. That looks new. See, there's a torus sphere. You have to be registered for some of these. And see, this used to be for free, and then they upped it. I guess they found out. I have some of these models. If you need something, always ask me first before you go out and spend a fortune. Like, I have this one. I actually have a better version than this one. And that looks like a nice Brooklyn model. Oh, look. Let's see. I lived right over there. Right over there. Well, no. Over there. It's not even... Can you even see where I used to live? Let's see. There's the Navy Yard. Yeah, there's Gowanus. I've done a project down there. This is one of the most unfiltered, disgusting areas in the U.S. But anyhow, yeah. So, yeah, I lived up in here, over in Williamsburg. That's the Williamsburg Bridge there. Anyways, that's just a side note. All right, we're going to go back to our panda here. We're going to go ahead and download him. It gives us a zip. We're going to save that. Alright, and so the next thing I want you guys to do is, this is on my downloads. We're going to cut that out of there. I'm going to just go to the desktop and I'm going to make a folder. I'm going to call it 019 Cube Grid Tutorial, 9 grid tutor. I always like to number. It's very helpful. And put a dash right there. Inside, I'm going to make a folder. I'm going to say 01 objects. I'm going to say 02 images. 03. I don't know. I don't think we need an 03, so we're going to go ahead and delete that one. Alright, so we're going to paste that in there. We're going to go ahead and extract him here. If you're not able to extract that, you need to go to rarlab.com. Here is, if you go, they always change it, downloads. Just get the one that fits you. It works on Mac too, so zips work on Mac as well. I think their base structure. Anyways, alright, so we have our panda here. He is a OBJ, so that's going to work just fine. We're going to go up here to the little folder. We're going to right click and say import. We're going to go find that object, and we're going to import that panda. He is massive. So I'm going to hit the scale button. I'm going to hold that down again, pull that menu out. You should know this from the last thing. I'm going to hit 3D scale. Since I know he's in the center, I'm going to hit 0, 0. And that's going to grab the center. And I'm going to grab arbitrarily point outside. I'm going to scale him in. And in this case, I'm going to turn off on snaps. Get him down. I want him to be about this, to fit inside of that unit and move him in. So I want him inside like that, floating in the box, right? If you want to get more specific, you can adjust him in the views. Remember, you can double click and pull out of these, right? I'm going to adjust him over, and there he is. He's a pretty panda, and he's inside. He is on a different layer. I'm going to click him, right click. I'm going to try and change him to that other layer. He's going to float inside there. I'm going to go ahead and lock that layer.